Hey there, Solemn Salmon here, taking a look at Stellaris Dev Diary number 129, which focused on reworks to the tradition trees coming in the 2.2 Le Guin update. This Dev Diary featured a lot less explanation and text than we're used to, instead featuring a host of screenshots of the new trees, which we'll make our way through in a moment. The diary focuses on the traditions of standard biological empires, so empires that aren't gestalt or machine, but following the second Paradox feature stream, we do have a little more information on some of their trees, such as synchronicity, versatility, and adaptability. As always with Stellaris Dev Diaries, the screenshots feature a lot of placeholder and work in progress text. So the first tradition tree is good old green expansion, a common first pick for players focusing on colonization and empire expansion. At first glance, not a huge amount has changed. The initial adoption bonus increasing colonization speed remains, as do traditions decreasing the cost and upkeep of your star bases, plus the ability to start colonies with an extra pop. Their locations in the tree have had a little switch around though, and they'll be joined by two new traditions which increase your empire's administrative cap, which is a soft cap on how large an empire you can effectively manage, and an increase in your pop growth speed. On the face of it, these seem pretty good, but a little underwhelming when you consider what they replace. The tradition reducing the initial cost of Unity for owning multiple colonies was awesome for wide empires, so I'll be sad to see that one go, although the tradition for additional Unity from capital buildings was itself a little underwhelming, if we're honest. Adopting the entire tree now nets you a reduction in the number of pops required to upgrade your colony shelter buildings, in other words, allowing you to develop your planets faster, a change that makes sense given that core sector worlds will no longer be a thing in 2.2. Let's move to the right and check out Orange Domination. Now, Domination is undergoing a huge facelift and no longer focuses on dominating foreign powers and overseeing vassals or tributes. In fact, the ability to subjugate other empires is not linked to the tradition tree in 2.2 at all. Instead, Domination focuses on internal authority, such as reducing crime, promoting effective governance, and better motivating workers and slaves. Interestingly, the adoption effect is now a reduction in the cost of blocker removal, which I'm not sure how really fits into the theme of the tree, perhaps clearing workers are more motivated? The left branch focuses on your leadership, so two of the traditions increase the level caps of your governors and ruler, respectively, whilst the third adds additional housing to capital and luxury buildings. The right-hand branch is your empire's Iron Fist, with the first tradition decreasing crime, the second increasing your workers and slaves' resource output, and adopting the whole lot nets you an additional influence per month, which is pretty handy. Right, if we follow the instructions of the Time Warp, we end up with Yellow Prosperity, possibly the most universally beneficial tree and another early popular pick that focuses on your economy and resources. Now, the great thing about Prosperity in the current build is that it reduces the upkeep of your buildings and ships, dramatically improving your economy. I'm sorry folks, that's not going to be entirely how it functions going forward. The adoption effect is now a 10% increase in the output of your mining stations, which is awesome, especially for wider empires where you'll have a ton of them. The first tradition in the left branch is the familiar reduction in building upkeep, which is now combined with the reduction in district upkeep. With fewer buildings on each planet, it'll be interesting to see if this still has as great an effect. From there, we have traditions that increase the output of your pops and specialist jobs, as well as a tradition increasing the number of clerk jobs available. The right-hand branch reduces the cost of, and increases the speed of, constructing new buildings, with the second tradition adding additional housing. Your reward for adopting the entire Prosperity tree is an additional merchant job for every 50 pops you have. It's a hard one to judge really, given that a whole lot of the new effects focus on elements of the game that are new and untried by players. I'll miss the fact you could effectively cut the upkeep of both your ships and infrastructure in one place, but rest assured the fact that ship upkeep has disappeared from the Prosperity tree does not mean you won't find it shortly. In the meantime, we're at the final tradition on the top row, Cyan Harmony. Now, Harmony focuses on your stability and your amenities, and similar to Expansion, has received only a couple of changes. The adoption effect now decreases food consumption rather than increasing growth speed. You'll still find traditions boosting governing ethics attraction, leader lifespan, and the awesome Bulwark of Harmony boosting your defensive prowess. The changes come in the form of the removal of the Paradise Dome, as part of the removal of all tradition unique buildings, and the absence of the -20% to unrest. Instead, you'll find traditions reducing the amount of time it takes for unemployed pops to drop to a lower stratum for work, which I reckon might be quite a useful tradition, as well as a new tradition which reduces pop amenity usage. Adopt the whole tree and you'll increase the stability on all of your planets by 5%, which again, early doors, sounds rather nifty. If you're a robot, of course, you'll be seeing Synchronicity instead of Harmony. Now, Synchronicity reduces robot upkeep, with traditions that reduce leader upkeep and their chance of malfunction, as well as boosting the benefits of Machine Empire-specific buildings, like the Maintenance Depot. That information comes from the second feature stream, so no mention of it here in DD number 129. Okay, so for the warmongers amongst us, we're headed down to the second row and Red Supremacy. It's hard to change the overall focus of a tradition built on the domination of space, and changes in 2.2 focus more on providing more economic relief to your large fleet, rather than just bonuses to its firepower and size. The adoption bonus still increases your starbase capacity, but now increases army damage rather than lowering starbase cost. Supremacy is now split into two separate branches. On the left we find the familiar decrease to ship cost / increase in build speed, plus the increase to command limit, although that is now combined with an increased admiral level cap rather than the fire rate buff. The third tradition in the left branch is the reduction of ship upkeep, moved over from the prosperity tree, plus a buff to naval capacity. In the right hand Supremacy branch we find our missing buff to fire rate, now combined with an increase in orbital bombardment damage, which leads on to buffs for starbase damage and reduced upgrade cost. Adopting all of these still unlocks war doctrines. Not gonna lie, I think Supremacy has got a whole lot better. You lose the tradition that increases your unity, but all of the best parts of the current Supremacy build are still there, plus a few juicy extras. It's win-win and probably now a must-have tradition for any but the most pacifist empires. Let's take another step to the right and the tradition with the most variations depending on your empire type. For the standard organics, this one is Blue Diplomacy, focusing on relations with other empires and now making the most of the galactic market. Adoption still gets you a reduction in diplomatic influence cost, but the trust growth rate is swapped for an increase in pop growth rate from immigration, tying in with the planetary rework. On the left hand side, we still have the two traditions for forming a federation and increasing naval contributions to said federation. On the right, there are three new traditions for maximising your control of the markets: increasing trade value, decreasing market fees, and reducing piracy. If you're going Xenophile, this will be a must-have and seems a vast improvement in any case. The diplomacy tree was never exceptional and only really necessary if you wanted to federate. It'll be interesting to see how effective these traditions are for players seeking to play with the new market mechanics though. If you're playing as a hive mind or an organic race that hates everyone else, I'm looking at you fanatic purifiers, then this tradition tree will be the equally blue adaptability, which features traditions reducing housing cost, decreasing the price of terraforming, and increasing habitability. For machine empires, blue versatility reduces the cost of building new pops, allows the formation of federations with machine empires, and adds additional modification points. Again, all this info is from the second feature stream, not DD129. And here we are, the last but by no means least tradition, Purple Discovery, focused around research and exploration. This tree has had by far the fewest alterations, which shows how appropriate its bonuses were to begin with. In fact, the only changes are in the bottom of the right hand branch, where Polytechnic Education now also increases level leader cap by 1, and Faith in Science now reduces researcher pop upkeep, rather than giving them unity during research. Well, there we go. Pretty good look at the new tradition trees in 2.2 Le Guin updates. It'll be interesting to see if these changes alter how we pick certain branches or changes our priorities when we're playing different empires. Next week's diary focuses on new technologies, which will be an interesting topic. Like and subscribe for more from me, Solemn Salmon, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.